Hello Storytellers, welcome back to the channel if you're new here. Hi, my name is Lauren. I'm an actress, teacher and storyteller. And today we're going to be talking about the Disney 100 concert. I've got some thoughts. So I went to the Disney 100 concert with my amazing friends Jess and Taylor. They've been on the channel before. We go to Disney quite often. We try and meet up or see each other at least once a month. And this was our once a month meetup. We unfortunately didn't have Kate with us this time because she had other plans and she was going to be seeing the concert, I think 2 or 3 days later, closer to where she lives. So if you don't know, the Disney 100 concert is touring the UK. I believe as of the time of filming, they've got 2 dates left, but I think by the time this goes out, it will have finished. It's celebrating 100 years of Disney, which is what we're celebrating all year this year. And it's a live orchestra with singers from both Broadway and West End, and it was a mixture of songs from like the classic animated, the modern animated, the live action. They had a variety of the other franchises involved, so they really covered every element for any Disney fan. Now I'm going to do my negatives first and then we'll get to the positives because there's very few negatives. But I do have some thoughts on how they could make this better. So, first of all, the venue we're at was the O2 in London. I don't live too far from there, so it's really accessible. At the moment, I am moving soon, so it's going to be less accessible, but not the end of the world. We didn't have, if you've seen on my Instagram before, we once went to Disney on Ice and we managed to get one of the suites. We managed to get super cheap tickets through a company that Daniel was working with at the time, and that was incredible. This time we bought our tickets, we were sat in the main bottom part of the arena, and the seats were so uncomfortable. So both myself and Jess, we have mobility issues, and so I was aware that this could become an issue, and I was like, we're just gonna have to do our best. But even Taylor was getting uncomfortable when she was like, these seats are like, they're hurting my spine, they're hurting my bum. Yeah. So heads up, if you ever go to the O2 and you're sitting down to watch something, it's so uncomfortable. That's not the concert's fault. That's just a negative about the venue. Negatives about the concert, I honestly can't think of many. The one I would say is I don't think it was advertised and marketed to the correct audience, which sounds ironic because it's a Disney concert, so surely it would be for Disney fans and lovers. We saw so many children at this event, and that's fine because Disney is for kids. However, it's a live orchestra with some projections, and it's being hosted by a previous performer from Strictly Come Dancing. The whole thing was catered to Disney adults because it's an orchestra. The kids that were around us were so bored, and like, I don't know if the girls noticed, but it was actually a few rows in front. We were sat slightly raised, and this is on the flat bit. I actually saw a family get up and leave really close to the beginning. I think we'd been there maybe 25 minutes. And originally I was like, oh, they're probably getting out going to the bathroom, but they never came back. Their seats stayed empty. But they had little kids with them, and we had some little kids near us, and like 2 of them just laid down, like were laying on their mum's lap, and like were complaining that it was too noisy and they couldn't sleep. And I was like, you know what? Yes, Disney is for kids, but that kind of event, that's not advertised for them. And normally I'd be like, oh, well, that person must have just misjudged it, you know. But actually there was so many there that I'm like, well, maybe the advertising wasn't clear for that audience. I had a little look back through what they advertised, and I'm going to be honest, it's not like they specifically said, this is not for children, because they know that's where they're going to make their money. But at the same time, you know, they say it's an orchestra with singers and it's songs from the films, and I think think some parents then may have just misread the atmosphere of it a little bit. I don't think it was anyone's fault in particular. It was just something that me and the girls noticed. The only other negative I would have is some of the song categories they had felt really unusual. So they were doing the thing like, we're going to do all the songs about friendship, now we're going to do all the songs about love, now we're going to do all the songs about bravery. And I was like, that's... Although I don't think bravery was one of them. I can't remember what the other ones were. Friendship and love are the two that I remember. And like, that is very Disney. And like, that filled us with joy. Like, oh yeah. But then some of the choices and the order they did them in, because they do a couple of songs without a break, it felt odd. Like, the ordering felt odd. You know, 1 minute you were, you know, with Toy Story singing You've Got a Friend in Me, and then very rapidly we were in like Star Wars or Pirates of the Caribbean, and then they'd like, or we'd really quickly swap to a villain song, and it was like, I get that the song might have a friendship theme, but this feels disconnected. Like, yeah, I can see the connection and it makes sense, but the actual songs next to each other didn't always line up. Positives, because there are so many, because oh my god, it was brilliant. Other than that little negative, it was actually really, really fun. And you know, they did like new animations to go along with the songs, and they blended some of the songs together. And the live performers and the orchestra were actually brilliant. I think it was only twice that we noticed that they'd say like, so they'd play some music, and without like the lyrics, so the orchestra would go and we wouldn't have someone singing for this one. It would take you a second to click what was playing, and there were a few times something would be playing, but the animation didn't match. So like at one point we had Snow White on the screen, but Cinderella's music playing. And then Cinderella came on and she got like the last 2 beats of her song and it changed into something else which wasn't Cinderella, and we're like, has the orchestra come out of sync with the animation? Was this planned? But even still, it was still fantastic. The orchestra were incredible. Jeanette Mamara hosting was actually really good. It felt a little Eurovision, which is not a negative. I love Eurovision. So it was really, really good fun. We had a great time. We went for drinks, we had some food, we then sat and we all had, like, we cried at one point and everyone was together, and we had like, we had our phones out at one point and we were like doing the traditional boy band like vibe where you've got your phone swinging in the air. Yeah, it was great fun. If you're a Disney adult and they do this again, I 100% recommend going. 100%. If you're a family, maybe the older kids, little tots, toddies, toddlers, wee bairns, no, not the vibe. Would I go again? Yeah. Would I pay the price of it again? Yeah. But tentative, yeah. I can't off the top of my head remember how much it cost. I will have a quick scroll through and insert the price somewhere. Probably here. Do it here. And I bought these tickets a while ago. I've got in my head they're around £50 each. And like, do I feel like I got £50 worth? Yeah, when you think about all those performers that need to be paid and the technicians and the venue fee, like, yeah, it makes sense. And it did go on for 2 hours. So yeah, I did get my money's worth. However, I can recognise that £50 for an orchestra and live concert, when it's technically seeing and hearing stuff you already know, kind of expensive. So this is not for making your bank balance happy. This is for making your soul happy. But yeah, I would 100% recommend going if they do it again. So the one thing me and the girls didn't really look in, well, we looked at it, but we didn't spend a lot of time looking into it, was the merch. If the merch was good, I'd 100% be wearing something from it now, but actually we looked and none of the merch was that exciting. It was really disappointing, actually. The merch was naff. Overpriced and naff. Some people will probably love it, but myself, Taylor and Jess, we all have quite a different sense in style. And if all three of us have gone, not a vibe, then who are you catering to? They looked kind of like your generic like list of tour on the back, general logo, but it generally, like, nothing was eye-catching. So we didn't buy any of the merch. I also forgot to take photos and videos of what was there, but I will insert anything here that I can think of. So that's it. That's the Disney 100 concert roundup. Like I said, I'd 100% recommend it. It had its downsides, it had its good sides. I'd be interested to hear if you guys went to the concert and what your thoughts were, or if you went to the concert in a different venue. Did you find the merch was overpriced? Did you have the same issues with like synchronicity? But did you enjoy it? Let me know. I want to have more conversations, so talk to me, people. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I've got more content coming out this year. I'm really pushing to try and bring out a video every Sunday, so let's see how that goes. So far, I'm doing okay. I've missed 1 week. I missed 1 week. That's because I was ill though. That was when I was like nearly on my deathbed. Flu sucks. But anyway, love ya!